Hi, I'm Marty Schupak. Welcome to Schupak Sports. And this is T-ball practice template number 3. If this is your first time viewing, you could find practice template number 2 and number 1. They're about 22 minutes long. If you're involved in T-ball as a coach, parent, or commissioner, I urge you to watch it. They'll only benefit you and your players for the long haul. We're going to go over a typical practice. This one's a little longer, closer to an hour. But before we do, I want to mention ask a trivia question, which I love, and we'll come back to it towards the end. In the history of Major League Baseball, how many managers and who were they managed a World Series winning team in the American League and a World Series winning team in the National League? Okay, so that's the question. Name me the managers that have won championships as a manager in both leagues. I'll give you a hint. There have been 2 of them. And we're going to come back to that at the end. Keep in mind also, about halfway through this session, I'm going to give you an advanced tip, which helped me win probably about 1 or 2 championships. But let's get right into it. Template number 3, again, we always start out warming up. You want to get the blood flowing. You want to give these kids good lifetime habits. Studies have been done, and I say this over and over again, but it's true, that even the shortest amount of warming up could help prevent injuries, arm rotations, jogging around the infield. You could even have run around the bases. It's all good. You don't have to be a phys ed doctoral student. You've all had gym classes for the young kids. This is what you want to do. And then after that, we go into, and I showed this drill before, the circle drill. I'll hold it up close. We put the players in a circle. And the key to this drill is they cannot throw the ball to anyone next to them. They can throw it to anyone in the circle except to the person next to them. And they throw it on the ground. And in T-ball, a lot of the players won't catch it. So you just want to emphasize, you don't have to catch it, try to catch it, but keep the ball in front of you. What I would do in T-ball at the beginning of the season is do this drill with no gloves, do it barehanded. I'm a big believer in having young kids do certain drills barehanded. The key to doing drills barehanded, not so much in this drill, is that on a lot of drills, you want to get kids to used to moving their feet. If they have gloves on, sometimes they just rely on the baseball glove reaching out instead of moving their feet toward the ball. You want to have them try to field the ground balls in the center of their body. All right, so this is the first drill. Not so much in T-ball, but if they're older, you could divide the circle into 2 circles of 6, and you could have a competition, count the number of times the ball is caught. You could also do 2 baseballs, again, mostly for older kids. So that's after the warm-up, that's one drill. And again, the key to any practice, my experience in 30 years, and I don't care the sport, if you integrate skill drills with fun drills, you'll get kids that coming back to your practices and come back to play the sport. The next drill I have, it's called Clean the Infield. And what I do is if we focus on one picture, I put a whole bunch of balls on 2 sides of the infield, like this. All right, I divide the team in half, and I have a group here and a group here. As we go to the other picture, you see the group. So let's say there are 12 on a T-ball team, there are 6 and 6. And another hint, and I mention this all the time, if you're going to use your extra money that you may have for any extra equipment, do it on baseballs. In T-ball, use the soft covered balls. If your league has a preferred type of ball, use what they recommend. Okay, now in this drill, what we do is you have all these balls here, and on the go command, each side runs out to the balls and picks them up and gets them out of the dirt of the circle. The first team to do that wins. All right. Sometimes kids are sensitive if they lose in competition, but you could try it because after T-ball, you'll find that kids love competition. Now, if you notice, over here, I have cones set up. All right. I tell the kids, try to knock down the cones. There's no extra points. The team that wins is the team that gets rid of the balls first out of the dirt of the infield. The reason I have the cones, I maintain that if the kids have a target to throw to, this will steady their head. Okay, a lot of times in T-ball, 4, 5, 6-year-old kids, when they throw it, the heads go all over the place. If they're able to focus, all right, and a lot of these throws are going to go wild anyway. If they're able to focus, they're a little more under control. So that's the drill we call clean the infield drill. All right, moving along. This is a game that we play, and you could divide the team. I'm going to show you 2 drills in a row. This is called baseball golf. All right, I'll hold it up close. And what I do is I put cones, and for T-ball players, you could put a bigger cone on, let's say 3 boxes, 2, 1, and the cone on top. And I set it up in the field like 3, what I call holes, or 3 sections with the cones. And you divide the team, 2 players and a coach or a parent. They have to go around, they have to throw and try to knock down the cone. You tell them to keep track on the number of throws it takes you to knock down the cone, just like in golf. So usually in the first throw, they're not going to reach it. So if they throw 1 ball and it comes up 15 feet short, the ball stays there, just like in golf. And then when the other player goes, after that, they move to the ball, pick it up, and they try to throw it. All right, try to move along with this quickly. We divide the team in half because while half of the team is doing baseball golf, another drill, which I am a big proponent of, usually for a little older than T-ball, but I do it in T-ball. And right after this drill, I'm going to give you an advanced tip, is the basketball throw. And what I find is I call it the basketball throw, but you don't have to use a basketball. You could use anything close to a small basketball size. The reason I do this, because the kids, they generally, with the big ball like a basketball or kickball, they have to move their feet when they wind up. Now, they're going to hold the ball a little longer with 2 hands, and sometimes the kids will drop it, but have them try this. And it's mainly for the footwork, not so much as the work with the arm, but it's a good drill. Again, alternate this as a station and try to bring in more than 1 ball. Now, I'll give you an advanced tip, just to go back. These 2 were dividing the team in half, 6 on one, 6 on the other. You have to utilize your parents and coaches. And when I get to batting practice, you'll see I have tons of parents involved in assistant coaches. A advanced tip when your kids get a little older after T-ball is, and I learned this the hard way. I had a player when I was coaching 12-year-olds, and I noticed he played first base. He was a very husky young kid who loved baseball, and he was of, I believe, Dominican descent. His family loved baseball. But on a few throws at night, I noticed that the ball missed his glove completely, and they weren't long throws. And then I went through my scorebook, and I saw that his batting average in night games was less than they were during the day games. So I went to his parents, and I said, has he had an eye test lately? And they said no. And I encouraged him to get an eye test. Long story short, he got prescription goggles, and he later became an all-star. And he actually went to a private school, I believe in Westchester County, and played baseball for them. He was a pretty good ball player, but it really changed the way he played ball. I had one other player that did this too. I went down with his father on a Sunday morning because I said, his name was Andrew. He said, he's got a wonderful swing. I don't know why he's missing the ball. And we work with him, work with him, work with him. And then finally I said, Andrew, at school, can you see the blackboard from the back of the room? He said, no. He said, and the teacher put me up front. And I said to the father, I said, Hal, I think you have him get him checked for glasses. And again, he got checked. He became a wonderful pitcher, and he pitched in high school, helped his team get to the Final Four of the section championship. Another story, and then we'll get right back to T-ball. Years ago, during my time, and I loved NFL football, Vince Lombardi coached the Washington Redskins his last year in coaching before he passed away prematurely. And I've told this story before, but he had a running back named Larry Brown. And he noticed in practice that this Larry Brown was incredibly talented, but he got off the ball slower than some of the other players. In the film room, he really went to slow motion, and he noticed he was getting off the ball slower. And he told assistant coaches and the team doctor, I want him to take a hearing test. Again, long story short, he found out he had a hearing loss in one ear. It wasn't up to par. At the time, they didn't have what they have now with the headsets. He went to the league. He got special permission to put a headset in Larry Brown's helmet so he could hear the signals from the quarterback. Bottom line is, this changed this guy's career. Thanks to Vince Lombardi. Larry Brown led the NFL in rushing 2 seasons. He's kind of like a borderline Hall of Famer, but he was a wonderful runner. So those are the 2 stories. All right, back to T-ball. All right, this is a very good drill. It's called the goalie drill. I use it at all levels. Even I've coached kids at the high school level. I've used this as a conditioning drill too. I put 2 cones, 10, 15 foot apart. At T-ball, use your discretion. I'm here, I have a bucket of balls, and I throw balls to the left or to the right. The player has to move his feet. At first, I do it without gloves. I don't want the player having a baseball mitt. I want them to move their feet. We're using the soft covered balls. After that, I have them put on gloves, and they could swipe it away just like a goalie. What we're teaching players is to, number 1, move your feet, and number 2, keep the ball in front of you. So those are the drills. Now, I'm going to get right to the batting practice. All right, there are a lot of different ways you could run batting practice in T-ball. Try it any way you want, but keep in mind that the number of repetitions will be dependent upon how you transition from one drill to another. So what I'm saying is the number of repetitions that players have in practice is dependent upon the coach, how you transition from one drill to another. My practices were very short because I always thought ahead. I knew what I wanted to do. All right. I didn't stand around between drills talking to my assistant coaches, asking them if they saw the Red Sox game last night or the Dodger game last night. We kept that for after practice. When I'm doing a practice, every second is baseball practice, whether it's softball, T-ball, baseball, or even basketball when I coached it. What I like to do when I have a batting practice, and I'll tell you right now, this is not a realistic template. I'm dividing the team in half, okay? Where you see TB, that means the T-ball players, all right? Where you see P, let me pull this out, and I'll hold it up close. That's where the parents are. If you count the number of parents, you're not going to get that many parents out of practice. All right, this is ideal. But the essence of this is, first you want to divide the team in half. And I like to put the players on the infield, have a player at bat, have one outfielder, T-ball player, and then parents in the outfield. Where you see it circled, the P, that's a coach. I give every player one at bat, all right? The same thing with the other team. They have one at bat, okay? You go through the order, and then you communicate to the other coach running this practice or this one, are they through? If they say yes, you combine it. If they say no, do another quick drill or base running, all right? After that, we combine the drill, or I'm sorry, the scrimmage. And again, where you see P is parents. At first, I have them in the outfield. I want players to get infield repetitions. The T-ball circle is players that are at bat, all right? So these players are at bat. These players are in the field. If you want, you could put a cone down the first base line. So if the player hits the ball, he runs down the line. Leave him on base if they hit the ball. If you want to distinguish each different player, you could use different color helmets if you have. You can't really not use a helmet. I like to have caps and no caps, but you can't do that. For safety, you have to have that. All right. I like to scrimmage, and you divide the team up in half. I try to do 1 or 2 innings. Make sure it goes quick. As I mentioned before, if a player doesn't hit the ball, make an adjustment. Carry some balls that are bigger. Don't let him go into the dugout where he didn't hit the ball. You want to have him have a positive experience every single practice. Our goal, we have one goal as a coach for baseball and softball, and that is to create an interest, a love for the game, and our one goal is to have him come back for the next season. All right, so that's the practices, the template number 2, and we're going to get right to the, actually I have a scrimmage number 2, and here if you see, I changed it around. I have the T-ball players mostly in the outfield. I have a parent at third, a parent at the pitcher's mound, and a parent catching. Again, you want to give these players repetitions at different positions. Start out splitting the team up. That's about it. A couple of things before we get to the trivia contest. All those that subscribed, I want to thank you. If you didn't subscribe, please try to subscribe. I want to keep this format going as long as I could. I'll keep putting out these practices to make you a better coach, make you a better parent. Anything I can do to help, I'm going to do. Okay. And all my videos, and I say this week after week, I'm going to keep repeating it. Your library has a program called Hoopla. You're able to stream the videos on your home computer, or you can attach it to your smart TV. Put in my name, Schupak, S-C-H-U-P-A-K, first name Marty, or Schupak Sports. All my videos will come up. I have videos in baseball, videos in basketball, videos in soccer. I have a golf video. I have a lacrosse video. They're all going to come up. View it for free. All right. As far as products, let's see. All this practice came from this book, T-ball drills. I have 110 drills. I have 25 practices. You could buy it at Amazon. Book Baby, I think might carry 2. As far as another product, let's see. Let's go with this. If you have any son or daughter from 10 to 15, pick up this book from Amazon, Playoff Fever and Split Pants. Great story. It's a young adult book, got great reviews. The review I got from Rick Wolf, WFAN, this book is pure joy. Highly recommend it. And I've had a lot of adults have given me good feedback. Okay, let's get right to the trivia question. The trivia question was, what managers in Major League Baseball history, okay, have won the championship managing the American League and the National League? All right, I gave a hint. The answer is 2. And the answer is this. Sparky Anderson won a championship with the Cincinnati Reds. That was the Big Red Machine. And the Detroit Tigers. Tony La Russa, who's still managing today, won a championship with the Oakland A's and the St. Louis Cardinals. This has been Marty Schupak for Schupak Sports. Until next time.